Welcome to Real Talk All Sport. I'm your hostess with the mostess, Mr. Nathan Blake. And as you'll see and hear each episode, I'm always joined by the Maggie, my three wise men, for in-depth discussions and analysis about a range of different sports and topics and more, because we like to talk about more than just sport. We all got our little opinions. So tune in monthly and you'll find us on YouTube at Mr. B Productions-WAL. So this is a special episode we're going for. And there's only been one topic, one talking point in our local town. And there's 6 words that is on everybody's lips around the town. And considering 2 of us are from the town of Newport, 1 of us have moved from the great northern city down to Newport, and 1 of us from Cardiff.
Could be a neutral.
Yeah, you could be a neutral. I have only 6 words to say. Just 6 words. Manchester United are coming to Newport. Let me just say that again. Manchester United, are coming to Newport. I can't believe it. I'm still in a state of shock, to be honest with you, when I say it. But it's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be an unreal occasion, arguably the biggest occasion in Newport County's history. I think it is, and I know a lot of other people do. I know Man City have been there, blah, 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 but let's be fair, Manchester United, biggest club in the world. So it's not every day you can say that. So let me introduce you to my Maggie, my sprint team. I've got Olympic gold medalist, Mr. Darren DC Campbell. What up, DC? I've got my 4-time Olympian, Mr. Christian Chris Cross Malcolm. What up, Chris Cross?
What up, Nate? What up?
And last but not least, I have Mr. Dav, a.k.a. Mr. Nice Matheson.
I try my best.
And I tried to tell him, he thought Mr. Nice was because he was a nice guy, and then I showed him the Howard Marks thing, and then he realized, that's Mr. Nice.
That's who I've been compared to.
So good afternoon, gentlemen. And just to make you aware, this is how we do it. Mr. DC is tuning in all the way from South Africa. How you doing, DC? So
listen to it.
We're talking about what some are calling the biggest game in Newport County's history. I think personally, I know Man City have been to Rodney Parade and what have you, but I still think Manchester United being the biggest club in the world, arguably Real Madrid, but I say Manchester United, biggest club in the world, coming to Newport County Rodney Parade. I'm in a state of shock. So, fellas, where should we start? Should we?
Man, where do you start?
What about the draw? Did you watch the draw when it happened?
I watched the draw and I was like, well, Newport had to beat Eastleigh still because they had played and they had drawn, but I was like, it was like one of them cat who was scratching. What they just say? Manchester United and Eastleigh or Newport are going to be at home. I found it absolutely amazing. So let's kick off with the man who is from the great northern city.
The Manchester boy.
The Manchester boy who's now, resides in this beautiful part of Wales, South Wales. Mr. DC.
Can I just say, sorry.
Yeah, please.
Can I just say one sec? Born and bred Manchester boy, Man United fan. But the reality is he's lived in Newport more than he's lived in Manchester.
Yeah, yes, life, Yeah.
So
we're not dissing his boys.
No, we're not dissing his boys.
Crew, his Manchester crew.
No,
but his loyalty should be amber and black, right?
Just saying what your loyalty's like, man.
I'm so happy with Newport County. They're going to get a nice payday. They're going to get a nice beat down. it'll be
Sorry. Did you say beatdown? Did you say beatdown?
what?
Did you say beatdown?
Yeah, he said beat
Oh,
them.
sorry, there's a bit of a delay in South Africa.
You said beatdown. Okay, confident. I like that. So you're confident that you're confident that that team that is probably the most inconsistent in the Premier League, you're confident. And I forgot to mention as well, Davio Cardiff, yeah?
Absolutely.
But Christian, you're...
Yeah, I am very, very confused because I'm a Man United fan. But yeah, I'm a Newport boy.
Yeah,
you know?
you're a Man United fan from Newport.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you got the sponge red on your mic, I take it.
There you go.
I noticed you didn't put the yellow one on there. Why not? What's
No,
going
I
on?
didn't. But I have got a yellow top on today. I've got a Newport Corrie. It's not Newport candy. So I'll put it out there. It's a limited edition Newport Corries.
Okay.
Top by Skin Dread. I have got a bit of yellow. So I've got a bit of a mixture going on today.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So my family's a bit of a split, really. So, you mentioned Kevin's as a Liverpool fan. Carl, a few of my other cousins are, but my uncle's a Man United fan as well.
Leighton?
My uncle Leighton, yeah.
Okay.
So when I was about 7 or 8, he was the one who got me into football. He would take me up the park, we'd go and play football a lot. And if I'm honest, at that age, I didn't know much about football. And Liverpool was the main team. And at the time, John Barnes was my favourite player and played for Liverpool. But as I started to get into football and understand football a little bit more and follow my uncle a little bit more, I started to go down the Man United route and understanding. And actually, I think it was the year after I started supporting United when they won the FA Cup. So it would have been 89, they won it in 90. Yeah, I always remember that.
Yeah.
And for me, because they won, well, you can say glory on it, but it was still rubbish in the league at that time, and Liverpool was still dominating at that time. So I just got in there before the glory, and from then, obviously, it kicked on the success that Man United had. But for me as a Newport boy, it's a massive dream. A Premier League team, Man United, your top team, the team you support. You'd always support your local team, Newport County. I always remember being a ball boy for Newport County. From when they moved from Summerton Park and we had to go to Gloucester to travel. I was a ball boy then.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, for the games. And then when they came back to Newport and they played at Speech Stadium, I was a ball boy there as well with Newport schools. So, so I've seen and also remember us playing at Summerton Park, 'cause it was only down the road from me, down Conway Road. We would listen to the roar of the fans, the crowd and whatnot every week, and it was fantastic. And watching you, Nath, and Kevin. As a youngster, we used to go over the Cup finals, used to come over at Summerton Park. Yeah. It was fantastic. But to imagine that Newport County be playing Manchester United in Newport was just unthinkable.
And I think if you think of all the big teams as well in the FA Cup, if there's one of the big teams you want to have, obviously there's Arsenal, Man City, you've got a few others as well. But
Aston Villa, big club.
Aston Villa. But the one you want is Man United.
It is.
If there's anyone you want, it's going to be them.
Because I went to the City game and the Tottenham game, and it was brilliant, and it was amazing to have such a big club there. But you think, God, can you imagine if Man United was here? Can you imagine what it would be like? And you never ever think that is possible, but
there's going to be a lot of conflicted people in Newport because I think probably for every 2-3 people I know, there are 1 in 3 people at best is a United fan. Massive. My oldest brother's a United fan.
But why? That's something that I find as someone who's grown up. Yeah, I was never even an option. For me, I was Cardiff City or it was another sport.
Yeah.
So how come what is the tradition of picking a team?
I think it's success, isn't it?
Yeah.
Success drives it at the end of the day. So, like when I was a kid, so my 2 brothers, my eldest brother was a United fan and my other brother was a Spurs fan. So I ended up following Spurs. Don't know why. Maybe because my brother, who was just older than me, was far more into football. My oldest brother was more of a rugby stroke boxing, whereas my other brother, Nigel, was more boxing stroke football or football stroke boxing. So he was a massive football fan. And then, I just followed him and he got my mum to get me my first kit, which was that white Spurs kit with a cockerel in it. So I don't know, right? But as you grow up then, you tend to have, a lot of people have 2 teams, right?
Yeah.
they have the team where they're born, and Dad was like smiling because I know he's going to say, you can't have 2 teams. It's impossible. But a lot of people do. So like I'm split. So Cardiff born, Newport bred. Like I'm not a Spurs fan, and that sort of went out the window when I went to Chelsea. You can't be a Spurs fan. Yeah. I've never returned since. But I'm split a Cardiff stroke Newport, or Newport stroke Cardiff, Cardiff stroke Newport, whichever way around, because family's born and bred. I'm born Cardiff, brought up for 4 or 5 years in Cardiff, and then moved to Newport as a kid, and I've been in England all my life, like, you know. So I'm.
But do you think for you as a Cardiff fan, you've seen Cardiff in your time go up and down the leagues, right? Even make it to the Premiership. Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas Newport hasn't. Newport has always been in the lower leagues. It's been a case of us trying to get into the top tier, trying to get Division 2 or down outside of that. So it feels a million miles away. Whereas for you as a Cardiff fan, you know it's quite, capable of playing your Manchester United, your Liverpools, your Villas, your Arsenals week in, week out. There was a possibility there, whether you made playoffs or you made promotion up into the Premier League. So the distance between, those top teams and Newport County, those top teams in Cardiff, it's very different. You knew you was going to be there and have the opportunity. As a Newport fan, you think, well, we're not going to be in the Premiership, not for the next 10 years, not for the next 12 years. And that's even if we get everything right. So the FA Cup is what Darren said. It's the magical thing about the FA Cup is bringing the big teams against the lower teams and seeing what they got. And for me, the excitement about it is that Newport is starting to develop this reputation of taking on these big teams, giving them a hard time,
Leicester,
not making it
Spurs,
easy,
Man City,
giving them a hard time. And you look at an inconsistent United who really struggle to find their rhythm and flow unless it's perfect for them. I think for me as a United fan watching United this year, they play well against teams that play high. So Tottenham, Aston Villa, Arsenal to a certain degree, they play well against them. But a team is well organised, structured, or pitch difficulties, United seem to struggle. So for me, it's going to be a fascinating, interesting game. As well as Ten Hag, we all say he's going to play the youngsters. But when you think you've got Casemiro coming back from injury, Martinez just coming back from injury, these guys need game time. So he's going to play a strong team, in order to get their team. So it's going to be a good United team. It's just whether or not they'll be able to gel and flow.
Look, I understand why fans of clubs outside of the Premier League, like Division 2, maybe Division 3, Conference, those kind of leagues. I get why you potentially may support a team like Manchester United, Liverpool. Many a Saturday morning, if you're out and about and you buy Junction 27 of the M4, you'll see Man United fans waiting for the coach to pick them up to take them to Old Trafford. One of our very good friends, Kevin Williams, mad Liverpool fan. But how can you not support your hometown, or it's city in it now, of Newport? How can you not? Maybe your son's been at the academy or one of the feeder academies and stuff like that. It's hard not to have an affinity with your hometown club. Both my boys have affinity with their hometown clubs. But if they were going to put a player on their wall when they're growing up, then it's going to be a Man United player.
Which player?
Well, Dylan's got a Wayne Rooney signed shirt above his bed. Look, they've been to Old Trafford. They're fortunate then. Do you get what I mean? With their dad being a Madman United fan, with the relationship that I've had with the club over many years. When I won Olympic silver and Olympic gold, the club invited me back both times. I think when I won Olympic gold, I went round the pitch at half time. In moments like that, you just can't forget.
Was that the time when you took that picture of you and you got that picture of you and Cristiano, which you never stopped going on about?
That's when I went to the Player of the Year dinner. I've been to the Player of the Year awards a few times at Man United, and one year I can't even remember whether it was Young Player of the Year he won or if it was Player of the Year. But yeah, they asked me to present the award, and yeah, that's the picture that I've got in my office. Yeah, me and Ronaldo.
Darren, you said that your kids look up to Man United players and support Man United. Now, like you've had Wayne Rooney, there's been Cristiano Ronaldo. What Man United players do they look up to now? Or like, who's the star? Because I know Garnacho is.
That's a great question.
But who is that? Who is that character?
It's a great question.
One's 24, one's 19. So at this moment in time, they don't look up to Man United. Look, they feel the same pain I feel. Do you get what I mean? At the minute, there's no looking up to anybody. It's just pain. It's just pain. There's no like. He's a fantastic player. I think they both like Bruno. I think my oldest boy likes Wan-Bissaka because he plays like Wan-Bissaka. He's a great tackler. But I wouldn't say they look up to any player. At the minute, we support our club through this bad period. But it'd be wrong to say we get excited by anything that's going on at the minute. What I will say is, though, having met Brailsford, who's now come in, a part of the Ineos. I think there will be change. The little things that I'm hearing about what's going on at the club, yeah, I think there will be a big change in the way that we work. It's not going to happen overnight, but yeah, the training ground is tired. When you think Manchester United and Manchester City, their training grounds were almost side by side in an area of Manchester where I grew up called Sale. And, the money came in for Man City and straight away they moved from that area. And then their complex got huge whilst we're still there. So that kind of says it all, really. We've been standing still. So City caught us up with regards to the training ground being right next to ours. And then they've accelerated and moved on and we've just been static. But yeah, the things that I'm starting to hear now from within the club, it does fill me with excitement that it's going to take a little bit of time, but it does fill me with excitement that we may start moving in a better direction with a bit more stability. Yeah, with just a bit more. It's 2024.
Okay, a question. A question. I'll put the.
In 2015.
Yeah, a question. I'll put the Christian. We're going off piece a bit because we're focusing on the Newport Manchester United game. But just a quick question. Do you think the new setup's going to work? Bringing someone who ultimately was made his name in cycling?
I don't know. It's all about high performance and high standards, right? And we know that, so Dave Brailsford, he has that and he's got that in him. He is strong in his beliefs and what he looks for. As Darren says, there's been a few changes at the moment, little changes in the background and conversations being had. I hear there's going to be a new CEO in place, which they've managed to get from Man City, which is a good start there. I think it's Omar, I can't remember his surname, but he's been
Bogle.
Well, yeah.
So he ain't injured for 10 weeks. I knew it.
But no, he's been obviously pivotal in the rise in Man City in the last 10 to 12 years, and obviously bringing him over to Manchester United.
It could be a plant. He could be in there to just destroy you. You ever thought about that?
Well, there's a thought about that, Nate, but I can't be looking at glass half empty right now. I got to be looking at glass half full.
Yeah, and that's desperation. That's what it does.
Of course, it's desperation. Absolutely. Where we're at right now. We're a team is so inconsistent.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. We don't know what United is going to come up from week to week. We're hearing stories. Things are getting leaked, which is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. Martial. Lately, they've been said Martial got sent to train on his own. And we all think it's a bad thing. When in reality is he's been ill for 5 weeks, and the boss has said, right, just get yourself fit for yourself on your own. Okay. That's the word that's coming out. Nobody knows what's actually happening behind the scenes. Yeah. But I think with the new establishment coming in, yes, standards will be high and be raised. And I think it's going to take a work in progress. This is not something which is going to change in the next 2, 3, 4 years. It's going to take a lot longer than that. And me as a fan and other fans just have to be patient with that.
Yeah, problem is you've been patient for 10 or 12 years already, haven't you?
That is the biggest problem, right? There's no time for patience. No one wants to
Not in
wait.
today's society.
Not the way things are, but I think that there has to.
Yeah.
They have to. It can't keep changing when it doesn't go wrong. Can't keep changing the manager.
Yeah.
Can't always be the manager's fault.
I think for me, the worry is, the fact that Darren mentioned it with the training ground, that you've allowed City to gain such a leap on you.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you're the biggest club in the world, but, my friends who are United fans, my mate Nicky McDonald, massive red, been going up and down the M6 for almost 50 years as a United red. And he always say, United 100% always be the biggest.
No.
But then when we talk, he will kind of say like, yeah, the way society is now, I'm not talking about now, I'm talking in another 10 years from now, a City equally as big globally as Man United. And United fans always like to go, no way, no, it's history. But everything's short term these days. Kids are not interested in, like, there'll be kids who are like 10 or 12 who don't even know who, like, I don't know, not a David Beckham or a Wayne Rooney, but they won't know who, like Vidic is, for instance. You hardly hear Vidic's name. He's a great captain, great player. They won't know Paul McGrath, Brian Robson. Won't have a clue because it's so short term. The history is not the same.
It's short term. Even now, I was at my little one's, one of our friends' football party, and I'm seeing more light blue shirts than red shirts.
Well,
you
kids
go back
follow
years
success,
ago.
don't they?
Yeah, but even there'd be a lot of, even growing up as a kid, there'd be loads of Liverpool shirts, the Crown Paints tops.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
but it was also equally the Man United top with the sharp on the front there.
Yeah.
Now I'm just seeing light blue or Chelsea tops.
Mm-hmm.
The odd Liverpool top here, the odd Man United top there.
Yeah.
It's all blue, it's all changed. And you're right. I think that so much has gone on in the background and the fans have not realised, with the facilities, with the stadium, with the staff as well. Not just performance staff, but staff in the organisation, in Man United, the brand itself has changed and hasn't lived up to that high standards. Now the problem is people are talking because performance is not on the pitch, right? Performance kind of mastered. We won the cup over the years with Van Gaal and Mourinho. It kind of mastered. But at the end of the day, if you really stood back and looked at it and you just come on a planet, you look at Man United and where they set up and you go, actually, you're a mid to bottom team Premier League club because the standards here are just so poor. And that's what has to change. And
I think what's been lost as well, and I think this is the difference between Guardiola, he will say, regardless of any cup, your league is your bread and butter. Your league. Like, I know there's loads of people who were saying over the last couple of years, oh yeah, they ain't won the Champions League, but they kept winning the league.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the league is the key.
Makes you such a desirable team to play for as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
the league is the key. And he never takes focus off that. Like winning a cup, as a player, former player, winning a cup can happen or not happen. You can lose to a team that you are superior to in a cup game, as we've seen in the FA Cup, as this conversation started out. But the league is your bread and butter. So how the teams got there. We know Man United beat Wigan, but let's focus on Newport, right? So Newport, they beat Oldham 2-0 at home. Then they played Barnet 1-1. Had to go to a replay. Beat Barnet 4-1 away from home. And then Eastleigh at home, 1-1. It's a tricky tie, Eastleigh, because they're decent. I think they're 11th in the National League. And then I'd done the game the other day. They went to Eastleigh and put on a performance of a lifetime. And that coming, knowing that you've got Manchester United in the next round.
I thought you were saying that you put a performance of a lifetime out there. Like the commentary was that good. Because I remember seeing the clips of the game because it wasn't televised at the time, and I was just watching live text. I was like update. And I knew Nathan was there. I was like, man, that guy's going to be cold. It was such a cold day. I was literally in a pub with a fire at the time, and I was like, oh, I feel so sorry for him right now because he's going to be cold.
Don't feel sorry for it.
So-
Don't ever feel sorry for
I
this
had
guy.
long johns on. Don't worry about me. So what do we think? Newport, realistically, Newport's chances.
Nathan, you know what it's like when a big team comes into town. Do you get what I mean? Because before I knew you like I know you now, I knew your name because of that goal you scored in the FA Cup. Do you get what I mean? That's like legendary. You know, what was it like knowing that a big team was coming in?
You know, we're a crew of friends who think quite differently to a lot of people I've found. You know, I don't mean that in any way, shape or form we're better than or disrespectful or anything like that. But even coming from Manchester, Dad, you think differently. Like a lot of people will be thinking for the Newport game, they'll say publicly on camp, oh yeah, we could win it. But really and truly, in their soul, they don't believe it.
Yeah.
Well, the Man City game and the Middlesbrough game before that, I was wanted. So I was a kid who was supposed to have had a career at Chelsea or went pear-shaped for whatever reason. But I knew I was better than Keith Curl, Alan Kernigan, who were at Man City, the two centre-back. I knew I was better than them. Just because I'm playing for a third division second division club, I think we were then, because we'd been promoted, doesn't mean that, this is going to be you're going to have a lucky tap-in or something like that. I wanted to prove to these guys that whether I'm playing for Cardiff City in the first division or, you know, Coventry City or Sheffield United in the Premier League, I want to prove, I'm going to prove you can't handle me. And subsequently, that's the mentality you go into the game with. You don't look at yourself as an underdog. You look at, right, who I'm playing against and what I'm going to do to him and how I'm going to do it to him. And for me, walking out in front of that crowd, it was like at Ninian Park, they say 22, 23, but it's probably closer to 28, 29, really. It was jammed to the rafters. And I remember thinking to myself, as we came out, because the tunnel at Cardiff City was strange. It wasn't really wide enough for two teams. But you come out, and I just remember thinking to myself, the build-up prior for a few days, you know, they're going to see, because, you know, I saw myself as a top footballer, regardless of I was playing at low level with Cardiff. I still see myself as a top player. So I thought to myself, right, this is an opportunity, player on player, mano, let's see what happens. So, yeah, you've got to go into that game with true belief, not belief where you say it publicly, but actual belief that we can win this game. And I always say anything is possible. Don't think because it's the mighty Man United and we're the little old Newport County, it can't happen. You've got to believe, you've got to will it. Okay, be like you guys. You're standing on the line in Olympics. You know there's other people who run faster times than you this year. But it's not about those other times, is it? It's about this moment right now.
Exactly.
All right? This moment right now. And let's see if, one, can you intimidate me? No. Can I intimidate you? Yes. No. Are you nervous? Am I nervous? Can I control my nerves better than you? Can I suppress my nerves? Can I use my nerves as energy rather than it sapping me? And I used to do that, try and use my nerves as control them, learn to control them and use them as energy. So I never felt like, oh man, my legs are like jelly and it takes you 20 minutes before you get your second wind.
Can I ask? Yeah, is
sorry, Chris, just quickly, I was just going to say, I think it's going to take a moment like that. Yeah, somebody's going to have to step up with true belief. It'll take a moment like that to beat United. I don't think we're going to beat Newport 3-0, 4-0 or anything crazy like that. But I think for Newport to beat Manchester United, somebody's going to have to do something crazy. And I think for anybody listening to this podcast that hasn't seen that goal, you need to go on YouTube and go check out that goal, because sometimes it does take a special moment to win a special type of game. And I think for everybody in Newport, you know, this is a very, very special game. Like I said, we've had big Premier League teams come to Newport before, but it's not made as much noise as Manchester United coming to Newport has made.
Sorry, Chris, what was you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, like, you know, you made a very good point on yourself and how you approach the game, and you know what I mean? And I always remember that as well as a little kid. I was like, check Nathan. Do you know what I mean? As a young, because I looked up to Nathan massively. I look up to Nathan, Kevin, this guy. And to see that, to me, it didn't surprise me. Yeah. But at the same time, it was the excitement of knowing where that was going to go for you from then on. And the fact is, people actually got to see, do you know what I mean, globally, what you're really about. But you went there with that mindset. But there's 10 other players with you. Yeah. And did they have that, or was it some?
It doesn't matter. I know I can carry it. I can carry them with me.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm asking.
When you hear a manager saying he leads the line, or, you know, the main player, like Darren made the point earlier, there's no one really, or my kids are following the main, there's not a Wayne Rooney at the moment. I was that at Cardiff. I didn't want to be when I was younger, when I first got there for the first year or two, but it was kind of forced to bring it out of you because you're capable of doing it. And Eddie May, God rest him, done that. So by the time I was playing in that game, by the time that game come around, it was like, I've got a point to prove.
I got to do this.
To a lot of people. So I'm not saying it's about me or anything like that, but what I can do is, because a lot of people forget that Mark Grew saved the penalty in that game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is, you know, Keith Kill still has nightmares about missing that penalty. I know, I read it on a podcast, right? But people tend to forget that. They also tend to forget that I should have scored a second goal when I went through, and I've dragged it wide on my left foot as well, which was not like me, right? But that goal, I think, if you look at my reaction, I wasn't shocked.
Yeah.
It was to the stadium.
Cantona-esque, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember. I've seen it since.
I told you so.
Yeah.
All those people who have said, he ain't going to make it, because that was a lot. You know what I mean? There were a lot of people when I left Chelsea, a lot of people you think got your back, all of a sudden really happy that you're back here, not doing what they thought you thought you were going to do. Back down to earth, you come with a bump. So my reaction was just almost like, I told you so.
Yeah.
It was probably one of my greatest moments in football. That was for me personally, because it you know.
Yeah, that's what it
you learned it from there. I would say I learned to get into sort of what they call it when you go into like a state of sort of meditation, and sort of you go into the zone. They
you
call
go in
it,
your
right?
own zone.
Yeah. That was me knowing, this zone thing is actually true.
Yeah.
You could actually change history. You know, you can do things that other people think you're not capable of. But as long as you know and believe, then we're good to go. So I would say I agree. It's not going to take a worldie for Newport to beat Manchester United only. I think what can happen is a lot of things can go wrong. You'll see it in the first. It tends to happen for the first 10 minutes in these cup games. So everything Newport do, the move up front, the front player gets the ball out to the wide player gets a cross in. Oh, the crowd goes crazy. It gets a corner, wherever. United miscontrol, mispass.
Yeah.
Newport keeper Townsend makes a good couple of saves first 15, 20 minutes, and it's still 0-0. And you get the feel like, oh gosh, we're in the game.
Yeah.
And then what happens is second half, the team who's the big team, United, because they're not ahead, if not ahead by 65, 70 minutes, panic will start to ensue. No matter who they are, no matter if they've won 5 Champions Leagues or 3 World Cups or whatever, because now you're thinking to yourself, one slip, one false move, and it's not the fact we lose this game, it's the aftermath for what comes with it if you're United.
Yeah.
Right? So United cannot lose this game. If United lose this game, chances are Ten Hag goes just on this result. Even if they're saying, no, we wouldn't sack him. But lose this game and you can lose your job.
Yeah, I
Do you know what I mean? And that's the level where we're working at here. That's what I always think to myself, as the underdog, Newport have 0 to lose, literally. So if they get beat 7-0, 8-0, who cares? United have beat Arsenal 9.
Yeah.
You know, they've lost to Liverpool 7. You know, that's in the Premier League. So you coming against Newport and beating them 7-0, 8-0, hey, so you should.
See, I just feel that, you know, United are very vulnerable at the moment. And I think if Newport are brave enough and they get at him, and there's been a lot of teams, if we've been watching the Premier League and the way United's play, the teams that go at United do not like. They don't like the pressure, especially early doors. If you pressure them early doors, it really unsettles their whole plan. And that's where you see Fernandes be Roy the Rovers, and he's up and down, left back, right back, centre forward, he's here, there and everywhere. Shape gets pulled out in all sorts of ways. And I think if Newport can be brave, be organised, and I think, like you said, Nate, they're still in it. The crowd's just got a bit of momentum behind them.
Because Rodney Parade is a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go,
mate. The crowd is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like Nutty Block, mate, I call it. Honestly. It's like the old bowling ground, West Ham. It's like the chicken run down the one side.
Yeah.
It is. And all the little, what used to be Newport Youth Firm, right?
Yeah,
the children of the Youth Firm.
I'm walking past my house to Sutton Park every
they're like
week.
16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds, right? But they give the manager stick, they give the sub stick, they give the linesman stick, they give the team stick.
Yeah.
They just do not stop. And when they start banging that drum, it's like a call to war, honestly. And that's what I say, United, if you come with the wrong attitude, I'm telling you, like Will Evans, Palmer Holden, 2 strikers, having a great season, right? Just off the back of the Wrexham win, stop Wrexham going top of the table. There's all these things that are going for, the manager, Graham Coughlin, massive red, said he cried tears in 79 when they lost and all that. So for him, going up against his childhood heroes, right, or the club which he sees as heroic and he supported all his life, it's massive. It's massive. But I honestly think it's not a 50-50. I'd be like naive of me to say that.
What? Sorry. What did you say? Is it because I'm in South Africa, so I just need to check. Did you say 50-50?
No. You missed out the word not. I said I'd be naive to say it's 50-50, right? But there's just something about this game where I honestly think it's either a 4-5-0 United or a 1-0 to Newport. That's what I'm at.
Well, you know what it is? You know what it is, Dave? You're 100% right. Newport have nothing to lose. Yeah, absolutely nothing to lose. They go out there for 90 minutes and play like heroes. They get a draw, they get to go to Old Trafford. That banana skin. All the pressure's on United. There's no pressure on Newport. For all the players, all the staff, everybody involved at Newport County, they've already won with a tie like this. It's a dream tie. And I don't mean that means they're not going to go and try. I know they're going to give everything to try and win the game or at least get a tie and end up back at Old Trafford. But with everything going on right now at Manchester United, it's a problem. It's a problem. Do you know what I mean? And as you said earlier, it's a game that, for us, we can't lose. Eric Ten Hag can't lose this game. The display against Tottenham the other day, it was okay. But this is the problem with United at the minute. There's no consistency. And when a team has no consistency, then that's danger. And coming up against a team like Newport County, who are in good form, confident, it's a problem. So I would say it's 60-40. I would say it's 60-40 right now.
That's still
huge.
big for Newport.
That's huge for Newport. That is massive.
Yeah, that's huge. Of course it is, Dave. Imagine going into that game you got a 40% chance of winning the game. That's huge.
So let's talk managers. We've got, Graham Coughlin, Eric Ten Hag. What happens to Graham Coughlin if they win this game? What do you think?
It gives him a lot of confidence in his team, I guess, and belief. And
elevates him to...
It does elevate his status, but, I think it's still a bit early for people to look at him and just go, yeah, he's a great manager, let's move on to another club. I think he still needs to get Newport a bit higher up the league, first of all, and I think it's more of a... what it will do is what people will be looking at him. They won't be there necessarily looking to prize him away from Newport, but eyes will be on him and watching how he goes forth for the rest of the season.
What do you think, Dav?
I think he has to do more at Newport to then have more eyes. I think so, because I think Newport's 16th? 14th. So being 14th, I think...
With one of the lowest budgets, mind, in the league.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you about budgets, I think before I was thinking about this was, from having this game at Rodney Parade, massive, huge, massive for Newport, is it more beneficial for Newport as a team with a low budget to win at Rodney Parade, or to have the opportunity to have another whole game in Old Trafford with another load?
The perfect scenario would be draw against United at Rodney Parade.
Do you get what I mean, though?
And then go to Old Trafford and win 1-0. That would be the dream scenario.
Yeah, exactly. That's what,
that's laughing at me, he's cracking up. So that would be the ultimate, because then you get part of the 80,000.
And that's 80,000 for a League Two team is low.
No,
right?
Part of the 80,000. It's hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Well, but then
millions, isn't it? You get a cut of the. You get I think.
Listen. If Newport County, right, get a draw and then go to Old Trafford and win 1-0, then I want my bins collecting once a week rather than every 3 weeks.
But also, what I'm saying with that as well is, if they do draw now this game in Rodney Parade and go to Man, that's still massively beneficial, right?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, because no one's expecting them to go through or win the game or even get a result. It's the mighty Manchester United, so you should. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's no pressure on you, but you should be looking at a minimum 4-0 scoreline, a minimum for Manchester United. But as the FA Cup has shown many, many times, and, Manchester United are not exempt from, being beaten by a smaller club. And right now, as the United fans have said, they're vulnerable. Do you know what I mean? So a perfect scenario would be draw at Newport, Rodney Parade, and then go to Old Trafford and win. And yes, I'll collect your bins myself if that happens, kid.
You heard that? Do you hear that? Hey, I only live down the road. You can come collect mine too.
You didn't put in on this, man.
That ain't the point.
It'll be my pleasure. Don't worry. So Eric Ten Hag, on the flip side, Unitedites, what happens?
Pressure. He's
if you lose it, let's say in a mythical world I'll create for you guys, because I know you float on that red air balloon thing. Let's suppose that Newport do turn you over, which I think is possible. Let's suppose they do. What happens? Would you be calling then? Not calling as in, Ten Hag, but would you be looking and thinking, the Ten Hag thing can't continue because of that one result? Or do you say, well, it can happen? It's happened before, it can happen.
I think it's a real possibility at this moment, that Newport could win. There is a possibility, more so than it has been in many years gone by. I think it doesn't really... There will be more pressure on Eric Ten Hag, I think there's a lot of pressure on him now with certain people saying that he ain't cutting it. I think you have to wait till the end of the season. To me, for United, there's just been too much change of management. I would still give him the end of the season. You know, as long as they're not dropping in 17th, 18th, 19th for the Premiership, yeah, I'd still give him the end of the season and let Ineos just have a really good look. Is it the manager? Is it the players? Is it the backroom staff? What is it? Yeah, is it the structure? What is it exactly?
Because the structure hasn't helped. It can't help.
It can't help.
It cannot help. It has to affect.
Because his players he's wanted to bring in, and he's had to bring substitute players in. He wanted to bring someone else. He ended up bringing Sabazat, the German from ended up going to Dortmund last January window. Wanted to bring a midfielder in. Yeah, Sabitzer. That's it. Ended up bringing Sabitzer in. He wanted a centre forward. We ended up getting Weghorst. You know, there's players he's wanted to bring in before and hasn't because of budget. You know, is that his choice? Is that because there's no money? Is it really because of budget?
You can't have no money. You know, you can't have no money. You know, you can have a situation where they've overspent FFP.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But they can't have no money.
Yeah, no, but that's the financial fair play ruling into it.
It's the financial fair play. So that's our issue at the moment. I think we have to really look, we've had too many nonsense players. That's the problem. Yeah. And too many situations where players have been able to dictate what's going on. Now, I'm not being highly critical of Sancho because I don't know what's gone on there. Okay. But what I do know is when you work for an employer, yeah, an employer asks you to do something, yeah, and you choose not to do it, then it's a problem. Do you get what I mean?
Football's, this is what I say, D. I agree with you, I do. But football is unlike any other profession or business.
No, 100%, Nate. I don't know, 100%, Nate. No, I get that. I get that, but you can't have players making decisions for the club. You know, all right. My thing is people fall out, okay, and that's fine. You know, you've been at football clubs. Players have fights on the pitch. Do you get what I mean? Some players don't like each other, but still have to go out there on a Saturday and do a job. The things that are going on at Manchester United, this is why I don't blame the manager. If you got chaos at the top, yeah, eventually it's going to filter down through. Yeah, there's chaos at the top. Now, that's why I like the new people that have come in. Yeah, because they don't do chaos. Ineos don't do chaos. Yeah, and he's bought 25% of the club and he has a specific area which he has to deal with. Now, little things that I hear at the club, it's not in a good place. Yeah, it's really, really not in a good place. The buys, just lots of different things. You know, we've had these discussions before. The Anthony's, it's not in a good place. All right, so there comes a point where you have to rip it all up and kind of start again, and that's where United are now. This ain't anything that's going to happen short term because we've tried short term. Mourinho was short term. Everything we've done has been short term. The only thing that was long term was when we brought in David Moyes, and that ended up short term. Yeah, because the players weren't having him. Now there comes a point where, yeah, everybody has to get on the same page, or you leave the club, which is fine. Yeah, but the club isn't what it used to be. Yeah, so people can't just be milking it. You know, who wants to see a player not try? Yeah, bare minimum. Yeah, for your own personal pride, try. Yeah, try.
I don't.
Yeah, whatever pride looks like, try.
Yeah, hold on a minute. I defend players here. I'm going into the players' union, right? Because what I would say is a player doesn't go, in my knowledge then, of players who we've even fallen out with managers. They don't go onto the pitch and not try. There's a difference. So how can I try and break it down for you? So you know when you score...
Oh, when I say try, okay. You know, okay. Was there any point in your career, yeah, where you could kind of run back and make a challenge you didn't? Because that's choice for me. That's choice. to help out your left or right back, that's a choice.
Yeah. I don't think.
Yeah, you could blame the manager for play and all of that. But
Yeah, I think that's oversimplifying it.
No. Well, but Nave, as a United fan, that's what I may be oversimplifying it, but that's what I'm seeing, Nave.
Yeah, so we spoke about the Wan-Bissaka thing. I highlighted that to you, right? Yeah, where he is running back.
No, yeah, he made that's a positional maybe mistake error. I'm talking.
No, it wasn't a positional thing. That's it wasn't a positional thing, and it wasn't that he's not trying. It was that he was only focused on the person that he is up against, rather than thinking, right, I need to make sure I'm focused on what happens next. So he runs back, yes, gets back, but he against Nottingham Forest, the winner.
Yeah.
He gets back, but from the time that the ball broke out of Notts Forest 18-yard box, he is only ever concerned with his winger, because he knows as long as my man don't score, I don't get stick, right? And that to me tells a bigger problem within United. It's not that Wan-Bissaka's not trying. Let me finish. Yeah, it's not that United are not. It's not that Wan-Bissaka wasn't trying, right? It's that he's just thinking, I don't want to get caned. I don't want to be dug out. I don't want to be singled.
I'm not saying Wan-Bissaka. That's my point. I'm not saying but this is the point. I don't want to start naming people, because I don't think that's fair in this instant, because I don't know what's going on to necessarily just hail people out. So this is my point. I'm not talking about Wan-Bissaka, because that can happen. And as you said, that could be not being set up right. That could be, like you said, I'll just look after my man. I watch Manchester United, and I've played football to a certain level, and like I say, there's certain times when man make a decision to run back and help out a teammate. Yeah, that's a choice. You make that choice. Now, if you're unfit and you can't get back, that's one situation. I watched our manager hail out Martial in a game, and it weren't Martial. Because before it got to Martial, somebody else could have followed that guy. And the manager picked out Martial, and it's things like that where I'm going, well, hold on. If the first person had done his job, Martial shouldn't have even been involved in what went on next. And like I said, this is where I get frustrated. This is why I can't talk about Man United, because it just does my nutting. Because I see where fans feel like players aren't trying. I might be wrong, but it feels like that, Nath. Because all right, I tell you what, it's like me being a 10-3 runner, but today I decide to run 10-5 in the relay, because that's just kind of how I feel. I've not put in my max, and as I say, there's certain players that ain't putting in the max, and then they make. Yes, Bruno can sometimes be headless chicken, but that's because he's trying to block other things. If people play their positions, that's the rule in life. Play your position. Play your position, no matter what it is. Not just football, but what's your position? What are you bringing to this table? And certain man ain't bringing nothing to the table. They're not. How can you have your best goal scoring, ever? And now we're back to your worst. How does that happen? You're the footballer. Tell me how that works.
Well, I would say part of the reason is another added fact to that is why so many players at United seem to be failing. Why?
That's what I mean. I don't know. I don't get. That's what I don't understand.
That tells you it's structural, right? What was the guy before Ten Hag? He came in and was doing like the spying machine. Ranieri. He kind of laid it all out there.
Yeah, he did.
Right? Everything that was wrong and everything that needed to be fixed. And then I think it was Ten Hag's decision I'll do my own way, and he got rid of him, right? Because I think they had Ralph in as, right, he's going to be like the go-between between, the manager and the board, the director of football sort of thing. And Ralph nailed it, seemed to have nailed it every time. So again, does it come back to, we're talking about managers, does it come back to then Ten Hag's judgment?
That's the problem, Nate. I don't know. That's the problem. As a United fan and as a sportsman, I don't know, and that's why I don't want to hail out people's names. Yeah. So what I was saying earlier I wasn't pointing out.
It's just observation, right? You're using it as observation to try and find what the problem is.
This is why fans get upset and disappointed, because we can't put our finger on it, Nate. Do you get what I mean? As a fan, I can't. All I go is, 1 minute it's the Glazers, then it's this. The Glazers are an issue. Yeah, you can't decide you're selling it. Yeah, everybody come in and put their bids in. Yeah, and then you decide you're not selling it. You weren't serious. Nothing about anything at the top.
It's a clever business move, though. It's a clever business move, because I think you ended up at like 8 billion from 2. So you know what it's worth. So if you're Glazers, you're like, well,
exactly.
you just made 6 billion from nothing. Just
to see what the club's worth. Yeah, and then decide, do we stay in a bit longer? Yeah, and now they've been able to have the cake and eat it, because now you've got Radcliffe come in, bring in some dough, take over that performance bit, which they don't seem to understand because they don't understand football, because they call it soccer. Do you get what I mean? And it's just confusion left, right, and centre. Don't get me hot, because it's like...
Well, put it this way. At least the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the playoffs. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. So does Graham Coughlin go to United and Ten Hag come to Newport as manager if he wins, if Newport win? Could that happen? No? Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't think at this moment in time who you're going to put in is going to help United right now. There's so much that needs to be done in the background. And as Darren says, you don't know whether it's the Glazers, is it the structure, is it the coaching, is it the staff, is the players. I feel like there's so many different things which have just disappeared in the last 10 years. Yeah.
It seems, do you know what it seems like, though? It seems like United pre-92. Because if you think... when, because you had some world-class players, but couldn't get nowhere near the league for years and years and years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And look, and that's why I say we live in a time where you say we don't have time and patience. But it took Sir Alex 6 years before he actually got the team going and actually to win something to a decent level. He had to get rid of a lot of staff, players, creating a culture in the background. A lot of that work had to be done, and that's what needs to be done now. And I would say the only challenge, the two challenges, right? People are not as patient as they were back then. And also, I think leadership at the top is totally different, because the Glazers at the moment is a bit like Darren says, all they care about is what they're going to get out of it. Financially. From them, getting the finances and working on the other part of the club and what it is good, and bringing on Ineos to work on the performance side. I can see what they're saying is going, well, if we bring in someone to really sort out this performance area, we'll still get our money and still be able to do what we've been doing for the last 12, 13, 14, 15 years.
Yeah. But
even that is going to take time. And if they end up changing
I think it's like the biggest roll of the dice ever.
Yeah.
I honestly do. I think it's the maddest move ever. I think what they're embarking on. I think it just screams absolute desperation, because
I disagree.
You would do, but let me explain my position. One singer, one song, right? So it's like, go back to the successful years and the board not being in unison with Sir Alex. Or the owner not being in tune with the board. What you find is most 90% of successful businesses, maybe all successful, they have what we call this arrowhead, this tip.
Yeah.
So everybody even down to the tea ladies or whoever's washing the kit or the coach drivers, we're all heading in the same direction. For me, once you get drag in a football club, you are going to struggle. Now, what you've got is the Ineos situation. I'm not sure how the setup is, but you're not the main shareholder, so you can be overruled. That's what I think is mad dangerous.
Right. The reason why I don't think it's dangerous is because we've got water coming through the roof at Old Trafford. Okay. The reason why I don't think it's a bad thing is because the training ground, we're not, how can I put it? We're not high performance then. Yeah. For a team that are called Manchester United and supported across the world. Yeah. I feel bad now for feeling that what Ronaldo was saying was wrong. Yeah. Because actually, when he was hailing out the training ground and stuff like that and going, it's the same as when I gave him the trophy. Yeah. When he 15 years later, that's terrible. Yeah. So the only reason why I go, it's not a bad thing is because those things need upgrading. And as long as the Glazers are there a minute, yeah, it wasn't going to happen. Okay. So I think what's kind of happened here is that those side of things will get sorted because, to be honest, they're the basic. Yeah. If you're a world-class player, but you're going to like not world-class facilities, then you're kind of hoping that you get world-class performance. It don't make no sense. Yeah. So at the minute, we're exactly where we should be. Yeah. Because we've got holes in the roof. Yeah. And we've got training facilities apparently that are not of the standard that we're trying to be.
It does make a difference. I remember signing for Wolves and seeing the training ground and thinking, OMG. Right. You drive up there going, yes. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're driving there and you got some deadbeat bike that you got to go on. And, you know, like I said, I haven't been there for a while, so I don't want to start talking about stuff that I don't know. But all I do know is if you're trying to be world class, yeah, and you ain't got world class facilities, and Man City have got beds where everybody could sleep in. And I know Chelsea took things up to those levels. It's like it's as we talk about in life, it's all about levels, yeah. And the level that United are is what it says in the league. We're 7th. Yeah, 7th, 8th in the league. That's where we are. Reality. Real talk. Real talk, DC.
Bring back history and bring back Ronaldo. It's like, yes, Ronaldo could do what he could do, but it's not Ronaldo of like 5 years ago at Real Madrid. It's just not. So we've just been in some kind of fallacy, nightmare, madness going on. So all I know with Ineos is that you're talking about people that know about success, yeah, and the way they deal with success, yes, they throw money at it, and the guy's got money, yeah, he's got sailing teams, he's got this, he's got that, but they're all high-level performance, yeah, and he deals in high-level performance, and at the minute, yes, what Ronaldo said about the pool and everything else, and, we should have underwater treadmills, we should have every single top device that brings out success and the best in players. That's what we should have. And I don't believe we have that. So I don't think it's a gamble. I just think it's a slight upgrade a minute where certain things that are basic requirements, when you want world-class performance, I think that's what we're going to get. Yeah. Then from there, you'll see which players utilize world-class performance, and the ones that don't want to utilize it, you can get rid of. But this is a rebuild. Anybody thinking that this will be sorted in a year, no, it won't. Yeah. Do I think Eric Ten Hag is the right man? Ain't got Scooby-Doo. Yeah, because there's too many other problems. Fix the whole industry.
He's on it.
He's answered like 4 hours long, Jen. Okay.
Jen, do you know, it's the more you go on about Manchester, the more he started driving more and more back up the M6, boy. Like he's home. He's not living in Newport. Man, don't get me started.
So there's 78 places between the two teams as it stands. 78 places in the league. So we won't even go into the last question because DC just lost his mind. Just real talk going on. So now you know why we call it real talk, because my mind is just gone. I know it's hurting him. But hey, let's have your predictions then. Let's wrap it up. Predictions for the fight? Pain. Where are you going to go with Christian?
I'm going to go 3-1 United.
Okay.
I'm going to go 3-1 United.
Okay. Dav?
I think it's going to be a draw. It's going to end up going back to United, and then I think that'll be it for Newport. As much as I don't want it to happen,
that would be a great scenario. I'd love him to get it.
Yeah. I'd love. I think for Newport, I'd love that, and I think it's kind of realistic.
So
and as a neutral, I think that's what.
As a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I'll go for. I'll go. Do you know what? I'll go 2-2. I think one's going to be from a corner. That's going to be dead scrappy. I love that about the FA Cup.
2-2.
I'm going to go 2-2.
DC.
I'm hoping, and I hate that word hope, but I'm hoping 2-1 for United before you ask Blakey.
So 2-1 United.
Yes.
So you all think Newport will score then? You all really fancy Newport? You like?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go crazy. 1-0 Newport win. All right.
I like that.
But it has shown. It's shown from talking about this that even from a massive club like Man United and having two massive fans in this room right now,
For real.
like they are beatable.
Yeah.
They are beatable, and it could happen.
They're there for the taking right now. You know, if I was Newport, I'd be so excited, you know, at this opportunity to play Man United where they are right now. Because to me, it's just, you need just to be attacking, aggressive, get up in them, don't give them time to breathe, to think. If you watch their games, they don't like pressure. Don't let them settle. Don't let them settle.
I think that's to round up then, to finish, I think that's what I would be saying if you're the manager of Newport, right? Is what we got to do is we got to run.
Yeah.
Hard, aggressive, you know, no respect. Don't think, you know, I'm up against Casemiro, I'm up against Ramsey. No respect. And just try to smother them with aggression and, you know, your running ability. Because one thing one thing the manager, Graham Copeland, has got is a fit team, a very, very fit team. So listen, it's maybe we'll do a after the Lord Mayor show, shall we? What happens to the result? Because you'll be back by then, D. So when you get back, maybe we'll do.
I'll be back the day of the game. And just for reference, Blake's my bins are collected on a Monday.
So, but if I'm right, and can I call what I need doing then?
You said if Newport draw and then come to Old Trafford and win 1-0, that you will do my bins.
Yeah. So if they did, can I call something for you to do for me, or is it not returnable, non-refundable? Is it?
It's feeling non-refundable, but as you're my boy, we can discuss it.
I got 5 acres. I got 5 acres of land that needs a lot of cutting down. So you come up and mow the grass for me, and you know what I mean. Maybe help my father next.
Listen, I'm not mowing your field. Yeah, it's not garden.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. So I think that's fair is fair. But listen,
I'll help you chop down some trees. How's that?
Yeah, please do. So listen, thanks for tuning in to Real Talk All Sport. We've had some real talk today. And
It's a good start.
yeah,
Good start.
great start. Let's see how it goes. Newport v Manchester United. Gonna get my garden done for free. Woo-hoo. And yeah, let's see what the result is. And if we want to, I know with you United boys, you might not want to do a post-match sort of the review if it goes the wrong way. But hey, if it does, yeah,
I think we should.
I'm sure you'll come.
I think we should.
Dave, it won't be real talk if we didn't. If United get beat, we have to come back.
Okay.
'Cause I want to hear some of that Darren Campbell real talk, boy. It went into overdrive, man.
For real, man. Whoa.
I'm not going to say much, but
So listen, don't forget you'll find us on YouTube at Mr. B Productions -WAL. Like Wales, yeah? WAL.
Nave, just a quick one before we sign off there.
So we sign off, yeah?
Yeah, I did notice you was commentating on the game and you give the Manchester United driver some tips on how to get the Rodney Parade. I noticed you took him for the Ringland Estate there over Andrew Found Drive. Me personally, I don't think he would have got out of Andrew Found Drive back onto the dual carriageway, to be honest with you, if he went that way you chose him. But I can see you thinking there.
Yeah. Well, what I was thinking is if I take it through Ringland,
Yeah.
there's a lot of United fans there. So it'll be all right. You won't have no worries about your windows or anything like that, your wheels or anything like that. They'll let you pass by through.
No, the United fans will, but I'm talking about the county fans, the Liverpool fans, City fans.
Oh, about them. Yeah. There may be a problem. But I'm sure the Ringland boys, they'll let you through. Do you know what I mean?
I think they'll let him through. From what we'll say is there'll be a slight delay.
Yeah.
But they'll get through.
Yeah, like the Wanderers, the Dookie boys.
There you go.
We'll let them through in the end. It's no problem. But yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Chris. So listen, thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon with the result.